The Fall Guy is one of those movies that puts me at the crossroads of something very bad, but that made me smile several times. Hello, how are you? My name is José Rey. I'm a film critic for Flixion, and thank you very much for playing this video where we'll talk about The Fall Guy, a movie directed by David Leitch and starring Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. David Leitch made his directorial debut in 2017 with Atomic Blonde, a very good action movie featuring Charlize Theron, before going on to direct the Deadpool sequel and the Fast and Furious spin-off focused on Hobbs and Shaw, which, let's be honest, was quite bad. He then directed Bullet Train in 2022, and now he comes with this film. As I mentioned, David Leitch debuted in 2017, but he is a man with vast experience in the industry. As you'll notice, all his projects are action-related, which is due to Leitch having been a stunt double and coordinator as well. So, it's hard to imagine anyone better for this type of film. The Fall Guy is an action comedy based on the ABC series of the same name that aired between 1981 and 1986, where Ryan Gosling's character, Colt Seavers, was originally played by the great Lee Majors, whom many will also remember for his role in The $6 Million Man. What's The Fall Guy about? The movie follows Colt Seavers, Gosling, the top stunt double for one of the world's most famous actors, Tom Ryder, Aaron Taylor Johnson. He also has a relationship with Jody Moreno, Blunt, a camera operator dreaming of becoming a film director. The story quickly showcases Colt's charisma and his great self-confidence. However, without much notice, the stunt double suffers an accident that breaks his back. This distances him from the world, and he ends up losing contact with Jody. 18 months later, he receives a mysterious call from Tom Ryder's producer, Hannah Waddingham. She asks him to travel to Sydney to work on a movie. At first, he refuses, but when he finds out that the director of that film is none other than Jody, he decides to do it. While in Australia, Colt discovers the real reason he's there is that the actor is lost and he must find him. If he doesn't, Jody's movie will be cancelled. You see, it's very easy to get attached to this story and this movie, especially for those of us who love films about the movie industry and its workings. However, the jokes and situations involving Ryan Gosling's character might not be for everyone. At times, I was enamored with the great chemistry between the protagonist and Emily Blunt, but most of the time I felt like I was watching a spiritual sequel to that abomination that was The Gray Man, starring the same Gosling. As mentioned, The Fall Guy will pull more than one smile from you. There are homages everywhere, not only to the work of stunt doubles and the entire teams that ensure everything goes well during those types of scenes. For example, the Miami Vice jacket is a highlight of the story. It also shows a great focus on the creative process of movies. Jody, portrayed by Emily Blunt, is one of those directors who always want to stay true to their ideas. One might think that if there were more directors like Jody Moreno, the cinema would be in a different situation. At the same time, I must say and repeat, I am here for a 7-hour movie just featuring scenes of Blunt and Gosling's characters. The chemistry they have is really divine. It's the only word that comes to mind. But if we must highlight any point of the movie, it has to be the critique towards deepfake technology. Although it might seem small and not very important, The Fall Guy exposes the dangers and the moral incorrectness that this technique can be, both for life and the Hollywood industry. The scene where Colt arrives on set and they scan his face seems harmless, but it ends up having a great impact at the end. Now, having said all this, and being very kind, the movie seems like a bad parody of James Bond. Absurd resolutions to problems, characters that come and go just to advance the plot, scenes with dogs just because, carelessly handled plot twists, poor special effects, the use of Taylor Swift, which isn't bad, but it's obvious what they want to do is hop on a fandom, among other things. Perhaps going towards a more personal side, it all boils down to it not being the right moment or day to watch this movie. Maybe if I watch it again, I'll enjoy it more. However, if the premise was turn off your brain and enjoy, they need to try a bit harder. Finally, among the few things I loved about the movie were the mockery of Dune, which was spectacular. and Jason Momoa's cameo. Also, divine. This was my review of The Fall Guy. I hope you liked it, and thank you very much for staying until this part of the video. Remember, if you want and can, and you can, it would help us a lot if you give us a like and subscribe to the channel.